When it comes to United States-based teams, things are starting to get excited. At one point, it looked like Haas was going to be sold. Now it looks like the American-based team is here to stay and is climbing up the grid. Ford will be partnering with Red Bull come 2026 when they start working on their engine with them, while Andretti is trying to join the grid with a partnership bid with Cadillac. There's a possibility that by 2026, there will be 2 US engine suppliers and 2 US-based teams in Formula 1. Who could have seen that coming? Formula 1.
It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go!
It is a sport where emotions run high.
The championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021!
From the excitement of winning a world championship,
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion!
to the heartbreak of defeat.
No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so not right.
Sport is special, and in recent years, I have fallen in love with the sport known as Formula 1, aka F1. And I am not the only person in the United States to do so. The popularity of F1 in the States has exploded, and looks to be continuing in an upward trajectory going into this season. ESPN viewership numbers of the sport are up 28%, with broadcasts across ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC averaging 1.21 million viewers, although the championship fight was wrapped up with weeks left in the season. On top of that, 12 races individually set an all-time American viewership record, including the first edition of the brand new Miami Grand Prix with 2.58 million average viewers. The 18 to 49-year-old demographic is up 29%, while the 12 to 17 is up 49%, along with seeing an increase in the female demographic. This coming season, we will see 3 races in the United States, and for the first time since 2015, the grid will have an American driver in Logan Sargent. The sport is growing, and it's growing fast in the United States, but it begs the question, why now? I want to answer that question, so through this 8-part series, I will be looking into why F1 is finally finding so much success in the United States, and what the future of the sport may look like. You are not going to want to miss this. Gene Haas made a fortune in tools manufacturing before starting his own NASCAR team. He would serve more than a year in prison for attempted tax evasion, and after he was released, decided to dive into the world of F1. After his release in 2009, he dove into Formula 1. Headquartered in North Carolina with some of Haas's other ventures, Haas F1 has been badly underfunded compared with the larger teams. It doesn't have the budget to design and build cars that can win races. Predictably, it has struggled to attract top drivers. Haas bought Marussia F1's Banbury headquarters to serve as a forward base of operations. For their engine, Haas decided to work with Ferrari, and this approach of establishing a far-reaching partnership with them was met with a mixed response from the paddock. The constructor was applauded for pioneering a low-cost model that would allow new teams to enter the sport and be competitive, which had been of a concern for the sport for many years. The team started off strong in 2016 with Romain Grosjean and Esteban Gutierrez as their drivers. In the debut race, Grosjean finished 6th, scoring 8 points for the team. This made Haas the first ever American constructor to score points in its first F1 race and first constructor to do so since Toyota in 2002. Grosjean finished 5th in Bahrain, but after that the team would only score on 3 more occasions to finish 8th in the Constructors' Championship. 2017 brought Kevin Magnussen to Haas to team up with Romain Grosjean. They would find early success, including their first ever double points finish in Monaco, and finished 8th in the Constructors' Championship once again. 2018 saw the American team finish 5th in the Constructors' Championship, but that would be as high as they would ever get. Haas added controversial title sponsor Rich Energy in 2019, a deal that would be terminated midway through the season, which would later turn out to be false. But the issues weren't over yet. Rich Energy faced numerous legal issues during the year, including being found to have plagiarized the logo of bicycle manufacturer White Bikes. The contract would be terminated, and Haas finished the season in 9th place. In 2020, they finished 9th in the Constructors once again and were bleeding money. They would turn to 2 rookies in Mick Schumacher, the son of the great Michael Schumacher, and Russian pay driver Nikita Mazepin. The team decided to focus their development on the 2022 car instead of the 2021 car to save money. They also secured Uralkali, a Russian potash fertilizer producer, of which Mazepin's father, Dmitry, was a key shareholder, as the title sponsor for the team. Uralkali sponsorship resulted in a livery containing the colors of the Russian flag. You know, it just didn't sit right with me having those color schemes on an American car. And the team finished 10th in the Constructors. There were rumors that Gene was considering selling the team to Dmitry. Mazepin was in the running for the purchase of Force India in 2018, but lost to Lawrence Stroll, who renamed the team Racing Point, now Aston Martin. As these rumors swirled, I just got a bad taste in my mouth. Then in 2022, following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Haas removed the branding of their Russian sponsor, terminated the deal and contract with Mazepin. Kevin Magnussen was announced as his replacement. Kevin would go on to score in the first 2 races, and later the team had a double points finish in the British Grand Prix. That race was followed by another double point finish. Later in the season, Magnussen took pole in Sao Paulo, although he would be forced to retire after a collision with Daniel Ricciardo. Haas finished 8th in the Constructors, and it feels like they are having momentum going into 2023. They signed a new title sponsor in MoneyGram for 2023 and beyond, signed Nico Hülkenberg to the team up with Magnussen, and plan to be able to develop the car throughout the season. More prize money this year means more possible upgrades for Haas, which means they could continue their upward trajectory this season. Ford will be making its return to F1 with Red Bull Racing in 2026, serving as a technical partner to the Red Bull and Red Bull powertrains as opposed to a full work squad. It is the first time the Dearborn-based company be competing in F1 since the end of the 2004 season, when it sold the Jaguar team to Dietrich Mateschitz for $1, who promptly renamed it to Red Bull. Ford considered returning as a full works team, but in the end felt becoming a technical partner with Red Bull powertrains was going to lead to them having the most success. Global director Mark Rushbrook told Racing News 365, "We definitely took our time to listen to a lot of people, and as soon as they knew Ford had some interest for at least consideration, a lot of people came forward, whether it was an existing or prospective team, to see if there was an opportunity for us to partner them. We approached some teams, but initially none of them seemed right. Coming back in as a full factory effort owning a team, as we have done in the past, also didn't feel right because we wanted to come in very strategically to contribute where it made sense. With the technical know-how of the British engine from Cosworth, Ford secured 55 wins for 262 races between 1967 and 1985, starting with Graham Hill's Lotus in 1968. It also won 10 Constructors' Championships and 13 Drivers' Championships, making it one of the top engine makers in F1 history until it stopped participating in 2004. Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali told the media, "Ford is a global brand with an incredible heritage in racing and automotive world, and they see the huge value that our platform provides with over 500 million fans around the world." While Ford CEO Jim Farley said, "Ford's return to Formula One with Red Bull Racing is all about where we are going as a company. Increasingly electric, software-defined, modern vehicle and experience. F1 will be an incredibly cost-effective platform to innovate, share ideas and technologies, and engage with tens of millions of new customers. With this partnership, Ford will be the only manufacturer that will be involved in all forms of auto racing, from Formula One to IMSA and Le Mans, as well as the World Rally Championship, FIA GT3, Australian Supercar, and NASCAR, among others. As a Ford owner myself, I could not be more excited to have Ford back in F1, and it may push me to become a Red Bull fan through and through." Then there is Andretti, who is teaming up with Cadillac, which is owned by General Motors, to join the F1 grid. Michael Andretti is the son of former F1 driver champion Mario Andretti and has run a successful IndyCar team among others over the years. Andretti told ESPN, "We check all the boxes. The only box we didn't check when we were working on our entry was we didn't have an OEM behind us, but now we have GM and Cadillac behind us. They are going to bring a lot to the party to help us get a race car on the track. We are very bullish on this moment. There's still a long way to go, and we are willing to follow every procedure that needs to be done. We're in a good position for it." Andretti has received support from fellow American and McLaren CEO Zak Brown, as well as support from Alpine, but others on the grid seem lukewarm on the idea. Andretti Global faced opposition when revealing a bid to join the grid last year, with the 10 incumbent teams airing concerns over the damage to the value a new team could create. Andretti has also attempted to try to buy other teams like Haas and AlphaTauri, with no luck so far. If Andretti were to get themselves on the grid, I think it could be huge for the sport in the United States, especially if they're competitive. Andretti has 17 drivers' titles across multiple motorsports, 6 Indy 500 victories, and competes in the IMSA Sports Car Championship, the IndyCar Series, Indy NXT, Formula E, Extreme E, Supercars Championship, and Supercar 2 Series. It is a very successful racing brand with a legacy to uphold in F1. Who knows if they will find their way on the grid, but as a fan I hope they do. Next time, I will be looking at the fandom of F1 and comparing it to college football. They are more alike than one might think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos right here, and make sure to subscribe for more quality content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.